Welcome everybody, this is a tutorial on how to add a custom fusion to my version of iFuse, like the one you're seeing right now. Oh, right, doesn't have any, whatever. So I'll be assuming that you kind of know how UTMT works and know basic programming. Maybe you've dealt with GML before, and so in this tutorial I'll explain how to add a new fusion, but not really how to make a custom baby. Fusions are slightly easier to implement than custom babies, because you don't have to deal with some stuff, but they are roughly the same difficulty. So for that, look at how the game handles a similar baby that you want to do and copy that and ask around in the Discord if you get any errors. So first step, of course, is to enter the data.win with UTMT, or Undertale modding tool. Warning, remember to back up your original data.win before doing changes, and do backups as you make significant changes, because you don't want to lose a lot of progress. In here, your first step is to create a new baby like you do in any other version of the game. So what you want to do is go right here to the end. It should be, if this is my version, 128 ultra double, but there could be more. And you want to add a case to the switch statement that is exactly basically the same as the one you're seeing here. Now in here you're gonna set a bunch of parameters. Because they are fusions, most of these don't matter. You can add them if you want. Personally, my fusion is going to be based on Lost Soul. So I'm gonna find Lost Soul real quick. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy all these values. I copied all the values except for n, because n is the namespace or the ID of the baby, and this one has to be custom. And it's important that you put a name that you can remember, because you're gonna be using this a lot. So mine is going to be Soul Bandages, because all the other fusions are called after the materials, and I just wanna keep the convention. So when you've done that, click away and save it, and now go to a new script called make_fusions. In here you'll see a lot of these set fusion functions that I've made. You don't need to know how they work, you can look around, just look up set fusion. If you want, you can ask me on the Discord what they do, how it works, but really all you need to know is that you need to copy and paste the last line or whatever, and the first ID is going to be the first baby in the fusion, and the second ID is going to be the second ID in the fusion, and the third ID is going to be the ID of the fusion, the result. So for example, my fusion is going to be Lost Soul, which is 32, and Ball of Bandages, which I believe is 41, but I should check. So to do this, just go to get baby data. You can Control F to find the name. I was very sure it was 41, but okay, 42. And then this last one is the result, which, I'm gonna close this real quick, will be the ID of the new case you made. Here, 129. This is also an important number, you remember? So this is already a functional quote-unquote fusion. If I save this, if we go into the game right now and check collection, you'll see that there's a fusion here with Ball of Bandages and Lost Soul. And Ball of Bandages shows up as a fusible baby, even though in the normal mod you can't fuse it with anything. Here you go. Of course, it shows up as Low Bobby, which is the first fusion in the game, and it's called card name 129 because we haven't said anything. But the fusion works. In fact, if we go to a new run, I'm using the console here, so we can just take Band of Bandages and boom. Of course it crashed because we haven't done anything yet. So remember that namespace you used? Well, it's time to actually use it for something. You can do the following steps in kind of any order you want, because right now we're gonna make an object and make the sprites for it. I'd recommend making the object using placeholder sprites and then changing them once you've got it working, but because I already have all the sprites made, I can just import them first and it'll be easier. So in here I have a folder with all the sprites you'll need, which I'm going to import using this script called import graphics. Where is it? Here, import graphics.csx. It's in resource repackers on scripts. All you have to do is put everything on a folder called sprites, and then you can dump all the images. You can import them manually, but that takes a lot of work and I don't want to do it. So the sprites you'll need is one. I'll write them like this so you can see. One that is called baby underscore, and here you put the namespace of your baby. So in my case, it would be baby underscore soul bandages. It's important to note that this sprite doesn't exist yet in the game, and you will have to create it. If you're gonna do that manually, I recommend looking at how a similar sprite does it. But the next changes will be done to sprites that do already exist, and you just have to add stuff to them. The first one is sbaby fuse alt. This is the fusion equivalent to the sprite called sbaby alt, which exists in the vanilla game. And this is just receiving a good pill. Let me show it actually with a here, receiving a good pill, receiving a bad pill, and getting hit with a shovel. You want to add 3 frames to this. One for when your fusion receives a good pill, bad pill, shovel. And because it's an already existing sprite, if you're going to do it with the method of import graphics, important that you call the files as baby fuse alt underscore, and then the frame you're editing. So the frame you're editing is just going to be, you can count them. It starts at 0, then the last one, I think in my case the last one is 86, but that will change for you depending on if your version has more fusions. Hopefully someone has added more. So in any case, my files have to be called sbabyfusealt 87, 88, and 89. And then the last one is UI Fusion icons. These are just the icons the game uses to represent the babies in the collection screen. So you just want to add one sprite. It can just be like an idle sprite. You don't have to read all these. In fact, I just took the idle sprites for these. And again, this is an already existing sprite. So if you do this with the method of import graphics, you'll have to call yours UI and then the frame, which in my case is 29. A good way of remembering this one specifically, this one is the ID of your baby minus 100, because little Bobby is 100 and in here it's 0. If you do it manually, you don't have to remember all of these things. Just add them as frames by going here, double clicking, and then you drag a texture page item to here. That is very convoluted to do, and I don't recommend it. So just use import graphics, which is what I'll do right now. Click yes, go to your sprites folder, and in my case I have sprites that are in folders with names that this doesn't support, but you can just click yes and it'll ignore the folder names. And here in UI Fusion icons, you'll see we have our sprites. If we go to sbabyfusealt, you'll see we have our sprites here. And if we type baby underscore, in my case, soul bandages, you'll see that it's here with the full animation. But of course, this doesn't have all the parameters set. So most sprites in the game, I haven't checked if all of them do, because I don't want to put that effort, but most of them have this thing where you click is special type. You put 3 here, 1 here, and frames per game. And in here, all of these will be automatically set up, but you can change all of these things. I recommend changing the origin. In fact, I'll do that. So mine would be 20 and 40. I'm basing these off a backup I made of the full mod. So once you have your sprite set up, let's make a new object. We're gonna call it O baby, and then the name of the namespace. So in here is gonna be soul bandages. Bandages. Remember not to make a typo. Change all occurrences of this value. And here you're gonna drag and drop your sprite here, And honestly, I don't remember what all these parameters need to be set to, but you can always just check what a normal baby does in the game. For example, my baby is based on Lost Soul, so if I just look at them, I can see what I have to set. All babies, in general, really, need to have their parent set to O baby and their mask set to mask. It's literally just a sprite called mask, not even a suffix before it. And I'm pretty sure this applies to all babies too. You have to click is awake. Don't know what it does, but Lost Soul has it, and this will have it too. And now just code your baby. Double click here and add events and just do code. Hold on a second, let it compile. There you go. See, very easy and painless. Some things of note because these apply to all babies, but generally most babies are different in how they're made. I mean, shooters all kind of work the same, and of course, if you're gonna make a clone of Lost Soul, you can just copy and paste the code of Lost Soul, which is what I did. And if you don't know which variables you can use, all babies are children of O baby, so you can just check here which variables you can set. Of course, I didn't just make changes to the events in this baby. There's sometimes you'll have to do stuff outside. In fact, I've done stuff outside. If you go to, for example, what baby should do, which is what handles what every baby does. I think, I don't know, I haven't experimented much with this. If you, as you can see here, it checks if ID is 109, and this is for an effect when it dies. This part will be different depending on what you want to do, especially because fusions tend to be very wacky, so I can't really tell you what to do, and I don't really want to either. So that's why I mostly skipped over it. Now save all of this, and now you want to head to your folder called locals. In here is basically every string of text the game shows you in English and Russian. There's a file for English and a file for Russian. I don't know Russian, so I won't be adding anything to it. I'm sorry. So here, they're neatly separated, and you can just go here and type card name 129, which would be my ID. You'll have a different one, comma, and then put your name. In my case, it's a Rainmaker. You can put these anywhere really, but I like to put them next to where they would go. Card description 129. This is for the description of the baby, of course. Mine will be daringly attracts enemies from other lanes. And this should be it. You can just run your game and test your baby out. If you want to test out your baby and you are thinking, oh, I have to edit my save file or find these naturally, you can just open the game with the console enabled. So to do that, go to Windows PowerShell and go to your iFuse folder and type start, open quotes, dot, backward slash, irule.exe, stop quotes, minus minus console. And with that, you'll have iFuse open. And if we check collection, you'll see Rainmaker. That only attracts enemies from other lanes. You can even see him here too. And if I make a new run and you open up the console, it will set up kill all for a second. You can type card and then the ID of your baby, so mine would be 32 first. This is Lost Soul, and then 42. And if you just put him there you go. That's my friend. And I'm gonna disable kill all for a second. Do spawn gaper, just try him out to see if he works. Yep, he works. See, works perfectly. And if we let him die, there you go. So yeah, that was my tutorial on how to add a baby. I hope this helps you, and again, if you have any doubt, wait, that does that? I'll be honest, I never used QChat. If you have any doubts on how to use yourself, or you run into any problems, asking the server on mod dash general, it should be the same server as the one that this links to. I haven't clicked this in a while, but it should send you to the Starbucks server.